Hi Aquarius, welcome to your reading. So I've already pulled some cards for you. 3 cards came out. The first 2 were the cheetah and the phoenix. And interestingly, I think both Gemini and Cancer got the cheetah, and then Libra got the phoenix card, just to mention it. But then you also had the nightingale, which none of the other signs have gotten. So for you, I actually feel like the cheetah and the phoenix and the nightingale, they are representing 2 different timelines. And this is because it's like you're a card of the collective. And so I actually feel like these are the 2 main timelines that the collective is on right now. And so let's just speak about these 2 cards first, the cheetah and the phoenix. What I feel for this is that these are people that have been previously kind of running away from their ego death. It's like they have been running away from their individual soul, and they have been kind of caught up in the collective soul. It's like they are caught up in the collective light, and we're coming to a point now where I feel like that collective light is starting to, it's almost like it's starting to transform. It's starting to be broken down and changed into a new expression. And so that means that a lot of people that have been, in a sense, avoiding the spiritual awakening, they are gonna start to go through that now. And even for people that have been going through the spiritual awakening, you know, this means that there's gonna be like a proper deepening of our ability to connect to our unique soul, our unique light. Because I feel like what is changing here, particularly with the phoenix, is the collective light. You know, the collective soul, kind of like the beehive mind. So that's where I feel like the nightingale comes in, because I feel like the people that have kind of gone through this falling, internal falling, you know, it's almost like when we go through the falling, we go back to our inner child. That's how that's how it's kind of being shown to me, and that's also what happened for me personally. It's like we have to go back and relive almost the feelings of our inner child so that we can bring light to it. And so for many of us, the experience of being a child, particularly if you were naturally intuitive, naturally in tune with your own individual soul and your own individual light, that experience meant it wasn't a nice experience. You know, it meant that you were probably feeling very powerless, that you were probably feeling very trapped in a system that was not designed to like honor your divinity or honor your individual light. Because the thing with that old system, you know, the old light, is that within that system, it's so limiting. You know, there is no, just look at the school system. It's like one adult, one teacher for, I don't know, 20 students, 25 students. And so that means that most of the time, these children are not mirrored by their caregiver, which in many cases becomes the teacher. You know, they're not properly mirrored, they're not really seen. And so within ourselves, we never learn how to see ourselves either. And so I think like for many people, when we start, before we get into this deep soul awakening that takes us into the nightingale, it's almost like we might not even have a clear image of our inner child in our mind. It might be dark. Because as children, we were abandoned by the masculine a lot of the times. You know, we were abandoned by the one that held the light and the one that was meant to shine that light into us so that we can could learn how to hold that light for ourselves. Many times we were abandoned, you know, by the Father. And when I look at these cards, you know, particularly the cheetah, I speak more about this energy in the Cancer and the Gemini reading, but the cheetah is an energy that gets very easily excited. And so it tends to lose its stamina. It's not as patient. And so it's very common, if we have a masculine energy that holds this cheetah energy, it's very common that we will have many different partners. Maybe we will have children with different partners. And if we're then like a masculine, a man, then that means that, you know, maybe we quote unquote abandon some of our children because we change our partner. Maybe we don't spend as much time with that child because we get another family, you know. And so these are patterns that are very common in today's world. And so that means that a lot of people carry this wounding within of not really being able to reflect their own inner child back to themselves. And so that's what we're learning when we start to go through this falling of, you know, when essentially it's our model of the old masculine archetype that starts to burn out. You know, it runs right into the fire. And so, yeah, this is a little bit of a challenging time. I think for a lot of people, I think Mars retrograde, I feel like this energy coming on for a lot of people when they will kind of feel like they are being held back, where they might be feeling that they will have to face this inner sense of powerlessness and of being trapped. It's almost like being trapped in a loop. This energy feels like you're not able to get out of the loop, even though you realize that I'm in the wrong place, like I don't want this anymore, but still it's like something about like not being able to get out. So let's pull some card. Did I speak about the Nightingale though? That's the thing about the Nightingale. It's kind of like this energy that is often overlooked. It doesn't seem to be as important, I'm hearing, until it starts to sing, and then everything changes. And so it's something about that. I think that many of you watching this video, you have developed the Nightingale archetype within you. It's like within some aspects of your being, I feel like you have gone through this deep soul transformation of stepping back into your inner child and starting to listen to it, you know, starting to mirror it, starting to understand it. And so I feel like if that resonates for you, then it's almost as if you have reached this level of being about to start to sing. That's what I'm feeling. And I feel like that's going to have such an impact on your surroundings and your own life and just everything. I feel like everything will begin to change when you do that. So let's pull some cards. I want to know, what am I here to share today for Aquarius? For the highest good. Wow, so underneath the deck was the 8 of Cups. And then the cards that came out, 7 of Wands and the Queen or the Mother of Cups here. I just really feel like this is talking about the Nightingale. I almost feel like when we're in the Nightingale state, it's almost as if we're backed by this Queen of Cups. And I think that this was in the, I don't remember which readings, but I think actually it is Cancer and Gemini again. where the Mother of Cups came through, and it's something about like the Mother of Cups representing these ancient feminine spirit that belongs to the earth. Like it's almost like this is some kind of ancient wisdom coming from wise women. And I really feel like it's coming through to your inner child right now. And so if you're in connection with your inner child, it's like your inner child is going to start to express things that are, it's like reviving a lot of old traditions and mysteries that have been forgotten. So it's kind of a very important work. But what is interesting is that this Seven of Wands, to me, it almost comes through like some kind of masculine, it's like a divine masculine energy. I see it as right now. And it's almost as if you're connected to that divine masculine energy, if you kind of let go of this old masculine energy that doesn't have time for his children and leaves them kind of in the dark, trapped in the dark. If you've overcome that energy and start to awaken your divine masculine energy, it's almost as if that divine masculine energy will blend and merge with this old, ancient, sacred, feminine energy. And that union is going to happen within your inner child. That's what I'm feeling. And so this is just like a very powerful process of healing that is taking place. And I feel like this is really gonna, I mean, it's gonna give your inner child so much, but it's also gonna give your feminine so much. Your body is gonna evolve from this, is what I feel. It's like, I don't fully understand this yet, but it's like, it's some kind of magic happening here. It's some kind of magic. It's the merging of timelines. Like it's the pulling in. Oh yeah, I'm hearing it's the star seed. So it's like the light of the future, which is kind of like the star. You know, it's like time and space still separating us and that future light, that future consciousness. And then it's the seed, you know, something that was kind of trapped inside of Earth for the longest time, but is now coming to the surface. And so when these two kind of forces merges within our own etheric body, we have the starseed. Is growth that is coming from like the high potential of the future merged with the forgotten potential, the forgotten like mysteries of the past. So it's something very, very special. And with the Eight of Cups, it's like like I'm feeling just like none of these cups matter anymore. It just doesn't matter. I feel like once you come into this space of the nightingale and these two forces merging within you, it's like you're just going to be so thrilled. It's like everything that you went through, it's going to feel like it was worth it. But I also feel like you're still going to be grateful that you don't have to go through it again. It's still like that, but it's just going to be like, yes, like I'm so happy I did that. I'm so happy I made it through. Like, but I never want to recreate that again. Like I'm gonna do what I can to build structures that, you know, will protect the children of the future so that they don't have to feel as powerless and as trapped as I did. It's a very powerful energy right here. So that's, yeah, wow. And then the star comes out, your card, healing, and strength. Wow, underneath the deck, this is so beautiful. There is this, I feel with the nightingale, this is part of kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar, but the philosopher's stone. So it's like the philosopher's stone is this process, these processes of initiation that we can go through. And it's like us learning how to transform one element into the other. And so it's like transforming earth into fire, then fire into water. And the level that I feel like this is on is transforming water into air, because the nightingale is the air. And so it's the ability to transform these overwhelming feelings of the wounded inner child, to stand with that and to feel that, you know, with the Eight of Cups, and then transform it into understanding, you know, something that expands the mind and really builds the divine masculine within you. You know, it builds this new type of light that is much, much, much more, you know, it has overcome the karma of the old light. It has overcome, because a lot of that wounding, that pain, that feeling of powerlessness was created by the old light. You know, it was the reason that our inner child, the abandonment of the light, was the reason that our inner child felt so hopeless. And so when you're able to overcome those feelings and actually turn those feelings over time into just this new form of light and healing with the star, you know, it's like you have created a new masculine archetype because of your light. Like, this is a very high vibration, you know, it's a very, like, it is taking your biggest trauma and turning it into your dharma and your joy and your ascension, like your blessings, basically. So it's a very beautiful energy, and I feel like some of you are really in this process of doing that, of overcoming all of these difficult feelings. And the way I feel is that it might be happening in one area of your life at once, so not all areas at once. And so you might be feeling the nightingale like in some parts of your life, but then you might also recognize that in other parts of your life you're kind of still more in this cheetah energy. I think that that is very normal, you know, because we're so multifaceted as humans. But wow. So there's definitely, I feel like, a rising from the heart to the crown. I feel like once you stepped out of the cheetah energy, you know, you stopped moving forward. You stopped being so obsessed with moving forward, and you allowed yourself to sink into your inner child and into your powerlessness and your, potentially your poverty, you know, not having that much money for a while. When you did that, it's almost as if you grounded your kundalini. It's like you fell all the way down back to these ancient timelines of the forgotten seed, you know, the child that was never really seen for what it was. And so there is so much pain here. Like there was so much pain there that you had to re-experience and carry on your shoulders. And I feel like this really burst your heart open. There was so much mourning. There was re-experiencing of abandonment, you know, potentially within relationships or in regards to just like your public persona. I feel like you had to let go of that for a while. But then, you know, you started rising, you started coming more and more back up to the heart. And that's where I feel like you started connecting to this like light, like this divine masculine energy, a guide or something that helped you to understand. And I feel like this is probably very within your own space, like very private, because this doesn't really exist on earth yet. At least when you started connecting to it, it was born through you. You know what I mean? It didn't exist. It would never have existed if it wasn't for you and the journey that you went through. And so I feel like that is what has taken you to this final leg of your journey, where you've been able to turn water into air and ultimately like pull the star back down into earth. Like, so this star comes into this Mother of Cups here and starts growing from that deep place within you. This is such a beautiful energy. This is also, it means that you are, if you resonate with being at this place, it means that you're so protected by the earth, but also by past lives. Because it's like, when you've done this work, you helped these forgotten souls, you know, these potentials that were left behind. It's almost if, like, you, because of your light, because of your life, because of your choice, you help them find a new kind of value. You help them return to, you know, heaven, to a lighter experience. You changed their afterlife. That's what I'm feeling. And so it's just very powerful and very extraordinary. Like, very outside of the normal. And so I also feel like for some of you, you might not have gone through that full process yet. Because like I said, I think like a lot of people are gonna start the falling, you know, falling into these past lives, falling into their wounded inner child. I think like that's gonna happen for a lot of people during this Mars retrograde. And so if that resonates for you, then hopefully you can understand that journey and that path a little bit better. Because it is, I mean, it is devastating. It's meant to be devastating. It's meant to, you know, digest the old light and give you the opportunity to give birth to this new type of light and this new type of song that will give you this kind of uniqueness. You know, you will not be like anyone else. You will be completely different. It's like creating footsteps that never before walked this earth. It's something completely new. So I'm gonna end the reading there. Wow, what an energy you're in right now. I wish you all the best. Take care of yourself, and goodbye for now.